To get started, I'm going to read a couple quotes. First one from Ralph Waldo Emerson. To know even one life is breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. And then, of course, my favorite from Harvey Milk, which leads me right into my talk today. I cannot prevent anyone from getting angry or mad or frustrated. I can only hope that they'll turn that anger and frustration and madness into something positive so that two, three, four, 500 will step forward so the gay doctors will come out. The gay lawyers, the gay judges, gay bankers, gay architects. I hope that every professional gay will say enough, come forward and tell everybody, wear a sign, let the world know. Maybe that will help. Speaking of love and work, I think probably the best way is to incorporate how important it has been throughout my life being out at work. When I first moved down from out of the woods where I came from, I decided that everywhere I was going to be out. That was something best way for me to show love to myself, show love to other people, is let people know who I am, let people know who gay people are and how that we're just people and we live and love like everyone else. A good portion of our lives is spent at work. We spend 8 hours a day there with different people we know. If you're not out, you have to watch what you say. You've got to watch your personal pronouns. You got to watch uh, every little thing you say and do. And, I couldn't do that. I was really scared it was going to be a negative experience and, never really had one. I think the greatest example of love shown to me and at my workplace because I was out. If I hadn't been out, this could have never ever happened. It's a story from a few years ago, probably about more than 17 years ago, when we adopted our daughter. Um, I worked in a large Catholic institution. Everyone knew I was gay. Everyone knew who I was. Everyone knew I was adopting. Everyone knew my spouse. And of course, things didn't always go as smooth as planned for this adoption. So, I could have a certain amount of time for paternity leave, but it ended up had to have a lot more leave than that. We adopting at that time was a little different than it is now. We were not able to adopt as a couple. I could adopt and then he could adopt later. We didn't want that. So we had to set up temporary residence in Pennsylvania, which we did. And I was guaranteed to have my job back when I came back. Of course, it worked out nicely because while we were residing in Pennsylvania, which was where the birth mother lived, she did give birth a little earlier than she had intended, but not much. It was basically a full term baby. She had the baby. We were getting ready to go home, and the Blackfoot Nation kind of put a little delay on that. They wanted to do some more research to see if there was any family ties or tribe ties that I guess would keep us from adopting. We already had her in our little sort of residence in Pennsylvania. When we came back, I walked back into work, walked into the break room, which was full, absolutely full of gifts for our daughter. Um, I had to make several trips just to take everything out of there when I went home that night. And these were people who were not gay people. We had, it was a Catholic institution, a lot of Catholics. We had some evangelicals. But nobody really cared. They loved me as a person. They loved my partner as a person. They, of course, gave love to my daughter. Same work environment. Less than 2 years later, my spouse was dying. Of course, went to that hospital, of course, so everyone knew what was going on, what he was dying from, knew when I had to take off, when he could no longer care for himself. His disease progressed rather rapidly. And of course, I received nothing but love and care throughout that. I was able to take, once again, all the time I needed off, and I needed a long time off. I had a toddler to raise, had arrangements to make, have a whole bunch of things to do, and I received nothing but love and caring from these people. People brought me food. People called. People came out just to visit. I mean, things I would never expect from people I work with. Then, of course, after I returned to work, I received just a great welcome. And at that point, I mean, even before I went back to work, I was told not to worry about a babysitter or anything when I returned to work until I could make other arrangements. This, of course, was a 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. job. There's no daycare open at that time. So until I got myself a daytime job and got daycare, there was, a good 6 months, and I never had to worry about anything, as far as my daughter's care went. Um, and I was who I was, they were who they were, but we were people. We were people who loved and cared about each other. And it's very important to be out. Come out whoever you are, not just wherever you are. If you're an ally, come out as an ally. Be out there, tell your personal stories, be who you are, and that is what's going to get us the equality that we need, whether we be gay, lesbian, trans, and any other of the letters that I'm so happy to see coming on with us. We've got a big family, and just so grateful that there are a lot of people out there to support all of us. And that's all I got.